Hi guys, welcome back to our little cottage here on the river in the far north of Idaho. So here you can see that this last week I finally got my little greenhouse set up, and this little guy I bought, 3 or 4 years ago now, and it's very handy. It's a very simple, fairly inexpensive greenhouse that I got on Amazon. And it's one that you put up and take down every year and put in storage. And somewhere along the way, though, from when I had last put it in storage to now, I had lost the instructions. And so it was a little bit like putting together a puzzle without the box, without the picture on the box. But, and I did have to like take a few pieces apart and redo them. But I figured it out. It was okay. So, like I said, it's nothing fancy and it does the trick. And so I will try to find it for you on Amazon and put the link in the description box below. Like I said, it's been a few years, so I don't know if they'll be the exact one that I have, but there's all sorts of little greenhouses that you can purchase. And I think they sell this type at hardware stores and garden centers and things like that. So anyway, I got it set up, and the nighttime temps are still too cold though for me to put my seedlings out in it. The daytime temps are wonderful. I think on this day it got up to 68 degrees. So it's been absolutely beautiful, but we even have had like a hard freeze. Like one night, it froze so hard. So I'm really glad I hadn't put my seedlings out into the greenhouse just yet, because they would not have survived that hard frost. So yeah, I'm just waiting a little bit longer. I really want to see nighttime temps that are consistently above 45 degrees probably. We'll see. I'm just keeping an eye on things and playing it by ear. So for now, my seedlings are staying in my storage space with their grow lights. And here you can see I am transplanting my seedlings into bigger pots. And my bigger pots are actually just red solo cups. I have a huge bag of them from Costco that we've had for a couple years now, and we just keep them for when we have friends over down at the river in the summertime and just gatherings and things like that. And so I decided to go ahead and just use these for putting my seedlings into bigger pots. I heard I don't quite remember. It was somewhere on social media. I heard or saw someone else using the red solo cups for their seedlings. And so I thought, hey, I'm just going to do that. So yeah, and it works really well. So here, I'm just doing it here on this little shelf in the greenhouse before the plastic was put on the greenhouse, just because it was a nice spot, a nice work area to do this in. And I also needed help from my husband to get the plastic up onto the greenhouse. But anyway, this was just a really perfect spot. Plus it was outside instead of in my storage area trying to repot the seedlings and getting dirt everywhere. So this worked out really nicely. And my daughter Lucy was napping at this time, but my son was in the house. And then when she woke up, I told him just to stick her in the stroller and bring her outside. And so she hung out in her stroller for a little bit until she got a little too restless. And then I let her run around and do her little toddler exploring, watching her very closely, of course, because she still puts everything in her mouth. So if I had a nickel for every single time I had to stop and take something out of her mouth or tell her, oh, don't put that in your mouth. Anyway, but she had a great time just getting good and dirty and exploring and just seeing all the sights and the sounds and the yeah, just the wonders of being outside in the springtime. And the seedlings that I am transplanting into bigger pots, I was doing my tomatoes and my dill, jalapenos, and lettuce. So those were just the ones that I had currently. I am going to plant very soon some cucumbers and zucchini. I think there might have been one other thing I needed to plant as well. And get those growing under the grow lights. And yeah, and then hopefully, like I said, very soon we will be able to put all of the seedlings out into the greenhouse. Don't put it in your mouth. Yeah, no, in your mouth. And so once my husband got home, he helped me get the greenhouse all situated, get the plastic put on it and secure. And then later on, he also put some stakes in the ground on some of the corners just to make sure that it was very secure, because you have to secure this greenhouse to something. If there's even the slightest breeze, it will blow over. So we made sure we got it nice and secure. And then here I brought my seedlings back inside. Here's my lettuce and dill. Here are my onions. My onions, the two different onions and the shallots were doing good. The leeks, not so much. So I might try replanting the leeks. And then here are the tomatoes and jalapenos, and they're just waiting now to go out into the greenhouse. And then there was one morning this week when I was able to get away for a little bit and go do some antiquing and check out a couple new antique stores that I had never been to before. And so I absolutely love antiquing. It is one of my happy places to be among lots of old things and just look through it and see what I can find. And on this particular trip, I was specifically looking for more ironstone to purchase. And it's hard to find ironstone nowadays, at least the kind that I'm looking for. And amazingly, I found several pieces to purchase and bring home, which I will show you here in a minute. But yeah, I just love going antiquing, looking through everything. It's one of those things where you could spend hours and hours and still not see everything. So many different things can be tucked away in corners, and you can find little treasures in the most unexpected places. So yeah, this is one of my little simple joys in life, is going and looking at beautiful old things. Okay, guys, so since I went antiquing yesterday and I found a few new pieces of ironstone to add to my antique ironstone collection, and I was also organizing my china cupboard this morning, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to kind of share with you some of my ironstone collection. And it has all of a sudden gotten pretty dark. We've had some dark clouds rolling in and the wind is picking up. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a spring storm here in just a minute. So I hope the lighting's okay. It was sunny and it did look beautiful, but anyway, I do enjoy a good spring storm. But anyway, I think we'll be fine. So, anyway, this is like I said, this is some of my ironstone collection. I started collecting ironstone when my aunt gave me a couple pieces from her collection, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And so ever since then, I have looked for ironstone when I go antiquing, and currently it feels like it's kind of hard to come by. You don't see it all the time. So I'm absolutely amazed at the 4 pieces that I saw yesterday. And yes, I bought all of them. So anyway, a short little history of ironstone. So ironstone was started in England in about the mid 1800s, and really it was made for the growing middle class. And it has been referred to like it, some people would have called it like the poor man's china, even though today we're like, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. But you would have seen it on farms, just in working class homes. And eventually it came to America. And so you would have seen it, the same thing here, would have been on the farm, working class homes again. And so it was very sturdy and heavy and durable. And so that's why it was perfect for on the farm. So one thing about ironstone is it's a lot heavier than it looks. And so that's a telltale sign that you're dealing with real ironstone, is that it's very heavy. Now, even though it has iron in the name, there is no iron in the actual making of it. So, I mean, in the actual pottery, there's no iron in it. So let me show you the very first piece that I got yesterday. And I found this gorgeous picture within 2 minutes of walking in my first antique store. And it was in the first stall that I walked into, and I immediately saw it, knew right away that it was ironstone, and she had marked it 50% off. And so I grabbed it right away, and this was my very first purchase yesterday. It is absolutely gorgeous. And you can see the bottom here, this is English ironstone. And you see H. Burgess Burslem. And so this would have been one of the earliest pieces of ironstone made. So Burgess, eventually in like 1861, partnered with Lee, and they made the company Burley Pottery. And so I'm actually collecting currently, I've shown you on some of my other videos, like brand new Burley pottery that I absolutely love. I'm slowly but surely buying it from Burley Pottery. So they combined their names, Burgess and Lee, and made Burley Pottery. And so this was made before they merged. And so they merged in 1861. So I'm not sure like what year this would have been made, but it would have been made before 1861. So absolutely incredible. And it's in such amazing condition. And so I had to grab it when I saw it. So very excited about finding this piece of ironstone. It's in such good condition. And then the next little one that I found was this one. And this would have been like a milk jug or a creamer jug. And this is English ironstone as well. And it is newer. And when I say newer, I mean relatively. So this one would have been made between 1910 and 1930. So still over 100 years old, but definitely a newer piece of ironstone. And you can kind of tell the era it was made in, because there's this slight Art Deco look to some of the details on it. Like I thought these little details on it definitely have that kind of Art Deco feel to them. So there was that one, and I saw it and I grabbed it immediately. So sweet. And I love collecting the little pictures because they're so fun to put bouquets of flowers in. And then this one, another very cool find. This is another piece of English ironstone. So there's the mark on that one. I'm not sure exactly how old this one was, but most likely, I mean, they're at least over 100 years old, if not more. So anyway, this one would be considered a tankard jug. And it's called tankard because it has that straight sides and the big wide mouth. Unlike, say, this little picture where you have the tapered sides and a smaller mouth, even like the big one, or this little one. So that's considered a tankard jug, and again, would have been used for probably milk. And yeah, I saw it, absolutely love it. Can't wait to put some flowers in that one. And then this one, you've probably seen it. I have two of these. I keep them on, or I keep at least one of them on my kitchen windowsill, and I put flowers in them when I have them. And this is English ironstone. And it is a little bit newer again. Like I said, relatively speaking. And it's amazing how heavy these little ones are. When you look at it, you would not think it would be that heavy. And then you pick it up and it is hefty. So, I mean, it's no wonder why these things have lasted through the years, because they were made very durable. And then the last thing that I bought yesterday was this little platter. And this is another piece of American ironstone. Oops, oh gosh, I'm knocking them together. And so this is American ironstone. And this one has really sweet little details on it. So it was a very good price. And then this I bought, I think about a year ago. And it's a little tureen. And it is English ironstone. And here you can see. So this would have been obviously for serving some kind of lunch or dinner in. And this one has some really sweet details as well. And this one I got for a steal. I don't think the person realized who was selling it what they had. So I nabbed that one. And then this little one, I actually found maybe about 6 months ago. And it is a little canister. I think it probably would have been used for coffee beans or for sugar, but I actually keep my salt in it. And I keep it on my kitchen windowsill. It has salt in it right now. So I'm not going to turn it over. But this one is English ironstone. And yeah, it's perfect. And the hole is big enough in the top that you can reach your hand in and get the salt out. So I love when I can actually use the antiques that I buy, when they have a purpose and I can actually use them today for stuff that I'm doing. So I love it that I can use this little canister. And then this was one from my aunt, and this is a coffee pot. And I believe, okay, I'm gonna try and pick this one up. Yes, this is English ironstone. And so this would have been a coffee pot. It's way too big to have been a teapot. And it has these little details of wheat on them, which of course is very much has the feel of a farm. And then it has these little coffee cups with it, and they don't have handles. And they also have the wheat detailing on them. And so these are so fun and unique. And I love it that they're a coffee mug, but they don't have handles. They're literally made that way to not have handles. So anyway, I also have a huge bowl and pitcher of American ironstone. So this big bowl and pitcher, it was made in America, and I keep this one on my dry sink in my living room because typically you probably would have seen a bowl and pitcher on a dry sink. in a farmhouse for people to wash up as they came in the house or whatever, or in someone's bedroom for bathing. And so I have that really pretty piece. And then, as I said, what I love to do with these little pitchers is put flowers in them. And last year, what I started doing was going around the property in the spring and summer and looking for any types of wildflowers that I could find, and then bringing them inside and putting them in my little ironstone pitchers. And so I'm going to definitely do that again this year. And of course, I also found some tulips, because right now there's no real wildflowers blooming on the property. We do have some bulbs coming up, but I went to Costco and they had bundles of tulips for $10. And so I grabbed a bundle of tulips and I put those on my kitchen windowsill in one of the little pitchers. And so, yes, I'm very excited. So this is why I really love buying the pitchers, is for putting flowers in. And I can put them on the kitchen table or on the windowsill or in the bedroom or wherever. So this was some of my antique ironstone collection, and I really hope that you found it interesting. And so now I'm going to share with you guys a fun little Easter treat recipe. And this is one that feels very nostalgic to me because this was something that my grandma made every single Easter. And I didn't get to spend every Easter with my grandma because she lived in Southern California and we lived up in Washington. But on the Easters that I did get to spend with her, it was so much fun to make these Easter nests with her. And so these are really simple. There's no baking involved. You're simply going to you're going to mix up like you would the Rice Krispie treat recipe, which is melting 3 tablespoons of butter in a large pot and then adding in 5.5 cups of mini marshmallows, and then 6 cups of the Rice Krispie cereal. And so you're just going to add in the marshmallows to the melted butter over fairly low heat, so maybe like medium low. And you're just going to stir this until the marshmallows become a nice, smooth, melted consistency. And then once those marshmallows are nice and melted and smooth, you're going to add in the 6 cups of the Rice Krispie cereal. And you're going to want to keep the heat on fairly low just to make sure that everything stays warm as you're mixing this together. But you're not wanting to cook it. So that's the thing, is you're just wanting to melt everything, but not actually cook anything, if that makes sense. So you'll just mix this all together, and it is a glorious sticky mess. So just beware of that, of course. When you're making Rice Krispie treats, it's sticky, and so it will stick to everything. And I also had prepared some muffin tins, and I had greased them with a little bit of butter. And this will just help the little cups to release from the muffin tins, because you're going to put in a nice scoop of the Rice Krispie mixture into the muffin tins, and this is going to help you shape the Rice Krispies into nest shapes. So this is just a little trick to use muffin tins to help you with this. Now you can definitely just mold them by hand. That's totally fine. But I just find the muffin tins kind of help with the shaping. And eventually I did move to just using my hands, well, using one spoon and one hand. And you just, if you're going to use your hands, you want to rub your hands with butter. Otherwise, it's just going to stick and not shape into the shape that you're wanting. So don't mind me here. I start sticking my hands into my butter dish. Yes, my hands were clean. So, but yeah, just do a nice, generous amount of butter on your hands and start shaping the little nests. And like I said, the butter really helps them just pop right out of the muffin tins really easily. And so now it's time to start filling the nests. And we always put a peep in the nest. That's what my grandma did. And I like to grab these little mini chocolate eggs to put in the nest as well. You can put jelly beans, you kind of pick whatever Easter candy that you would like, but I feel like you have to at least do a peep as well because these are little nests. So, so you just pop a little peep in the middle and add some jelly beans or some little mini chocolate eggs, and there you have a really fun, easy, simple Easter treat that kids absolutely love to help you make, and of course, absolutely love to eat. And so, of course, I will have this recipe over on my blog, homespunannie.com, and I will also have it linked in the description box below. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share with someone else you think would enjoy it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.